and the corrosion of it. They just can't, like some of them can think, but they just don't care enough, and they don't understand how much the old systems are broken. Now that might lead you to ask something I've been asking myself lately, which is what happens when these old people croak? What happens when they no longer are around to strike down their hammers of authority on us and just blindly approve every new technological advancement without guardrails? Well, I think this is the inflection point. This is the inflection point that decides whether the future is going to be incredible and part of this renaissance, or whether this stuff that we're seeing that has just been emerging for the past decade or so will go completely haywire, and maybe some of those things that we do hope not happen will happen. So what I believe needs to happen, but I'm not a revolutionary. I don't fucking know. I'm just yapping, but I love to give people solutions and to give people hope. I believe what we need to do before that inflection point happens is make sure we are moving towards the former, towards the reality that comes after the gerontocracy that is very favorable towards most people. And in order to do that, I think we need to completely restructure a lot of society, the things that have been broken down and exposed to us that clearly aren't compatible with this new world that we are living in, that old people can't seem to understand. And in order to do that, I think we need to achieve three types of fulfillment: intellectual fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, and social fulfillment. At the foundation of intellectual fulfillment is school. School worked for many, many decades. It made sense to go into a classroom, to sit down, to listen to a teacher, and get presented in that format. Now, I think things need to be updated. I think if we want to reach intellectual fulfillment, because AI has disrupted the classroom so much, because social media and being on your phone and having that addiction has disrupted the classroom so much, there needs to be some sort of tweaking of the education system. And additionally, more of the things that we are taught in school should translate to more opportunities for our career when we are out of school. Because right now, a lot of people fresh out of college are straight up unemployed. More like the highest it's been, at least in America, in a very long time, perhaps in all of history. And the only reason that would be the case is because employers see what schools are teaching, and they're realizing these schools are not preparing students for the real world. So the question is, how do we design a curriculum that is intellectually fulfilling and that actually leads to careers that people really want? Now, a big argument I've seen in my comments when I talk about education and the issues that it's been going through on my main channel is that if we just completely diverge from what we currently have, students aren't going to receive the same benefits as they have from school in the past few decades or a couple centuries. And I just think, I don't think it needs to be entirely scrapped and redesigned. It just needs to be updated so that the stuff you're learning is super engaging, maybe involves more technology, and involves how to, first and foremost, improve your tech literacy. Because I do think if you understand technology, if you're someone who used to download mods for Minecraft and you learned how to import that into Java Minecraft, if you know, that directly correlates with people who have high tech literacy skills. And I think the importance of tech literacy is still wildly understated and wildly not understood amongst older people, which are usually the teachers, right? So if there were programs to teach tech literacy in school and really have that be a focal point of education, I think when your tech literacy is good, when you understand how to use the internet and use technology better, because honestly, for a lot of technologies, if you just have a base understanding of one technology, usually it translates to others, then you're way more likely to have the skills you need to succeed in the future. Now, as for how we teach, maybe that needs to be updated a little bit too. I think, yes, we can completely ban phones from classrooms, and we can only have students take tests in the classroom or write their essays in the classroom because AI writing is like fucking everything now. And even some of the teachers are using it to grade their students' papers. I mean, that shit's just crazy. Like, people clearly don't care. Those are things we can do. But at the same time, like, there's got to be some way to make education, like, instill the importance of it earlier on in life and, like, realize, like, hey, you realize if you do this, you're going to be so much more happier and fulfilled, and life in general is just going to be so much more peaceful and stable. And at the same time, use technology to make it more fun, to use what we know thanks to technology, because we know everything. We know what makes teaching engaging. We have the studies, we have all the research to create a world that is so incredible, because we fully understand human psychology now. There's nothing hiding anymore besides the more philosophical elements of consciousness. A lot of that is still quite vague, and we're still trying to figure it out. But in regards to like what we find enjoyable and engaging and what makes a fulfilling life, we figured all this shit out in the past 10 years, man. Why aren't we using the knowledge we've acquired to create better schools and better education? Like, it seems so simple, but it needs to be done by us when we grow up. Gen Zers, I encourage you, if you guys are still in school, I'm 29 now, I'm approaching UNC status in a few years. Thanks for correcting me about UNC being 35 and not 30 in the comments on one of my videos. But like, people who are still in college, you know, I encourage you to pursue that pathway, to be part of that renaissance, that educational renaissance that, like, clearly we have the resources to bring into reality, but just nobody's fucking doing it because, I don't know, we're just fucking lazy and we're just fucking zoned into our phones and to not being broke, basically. So in terms of intellectual fulfillment, that's what we can do for schools. Intellectual fulfillment must also be a pursuit of self-education. I think self-education is one of the most fulfilling forms of education that there are. I find that now that I've been reading more and more lately, because I want to align more of my actions with the identity I'm trying to build, which is being an author, which is why I wrote my first novel, link in the description, shameless plug. I have realized how much fun education actually is when you get to choose what you get to do. I get to choose the books I read now. I wasn't really able to do that in school, and because of that, it felt like the books were forced onto me. And I've always been someone who hates being told what to do. That's part of the reason why I started a YouTube channel. I tried to be an entrepreneur, and why I like doing my own things, and why I run my own business. It's a bit of a character flaw, but it's also produced great outcomes for my life. I just don't like being told what to do. But I think most people don't like being told that you have to read this book or you have to educate yourself in this way.